slow. About 4 minutes too, is it?
No, you got.
What's the time?
We're heading down to the 2 minute, but he's all. Hang on.
66, is it?
Seconds at 6.3, 11 seconds at 7.5, and he'll be getting that information, little slip as he comes up that incline. He'll be getting the information that Bolshinov is still within striking distance. 3 times he has been Finland's sports personality of the year, having already secured 1 medal here in Beijing. Another goal, and surely he'd be a shoo-in for a quartet of those.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Crypto Hour.
Morning.
Morning,
Luca. Morning, everyone.
Morning.
Morning, everyone.
Good evening.
Okay, just put my headphones on so I don't disturb other half of this house. Okay, here we go. Ready to start. Lots to talk about this week. There were quite a few things going on. You can imagine. Again, I need until Duncan comes along. I still need a volunteer to let people in and out while I chat. Anybody wants to do it? Karen, you got the job. Okay. So I'm making a co-host. That's it. Oh, Duncan is here as well. So now we're gonna have 2 co-hosts. Okay. Fine. It doesn't matter. You can never have too many co-hosts. All right. And Jonathan as well is coming in. Okay, let's start straight away. So what we've had in kind of a slightly different tone from last week, where everything was kind of like doom and gloom, and today everybody should be happy and excited about crypto. Not really. So like it just let's focus on the important things really, and stop looking at price and price action. Okay, to lift or dampen your moods. The work that's going on, as I always keep saying every week, the work that's going on in blockchain and the improvement, the vast pace on improvements across many different projects goes on, regardless of price. Okay. What we should be looking at is how many people are working on these projects and how many developers are changing from a normal job with with JP Morgan or something like that, and following their heart and starting to work on some projects that really mean something to them in blockchain technology. That's the real change that we're seeing. Okay, and we got an example in this room with with Jonathan himself that is getting more and more involved, from a normal software company to providing blockchain services. So soon Jonathan will be kind of blockchain only, hopefully at some stage. Yeah. Sorry, I can't hear you. You can mute yourself for a second. So it's nice, so nice to have a live example, as I'm talking, so I'm not just like a deluded talking about these things, but somebody that can validate what I'm saying.
This year, that's the plan. This year.
This year, fantastic. We'll be there. We're all we're all there for you. I say we can, when we finish with the Sunday swap thing, I'll delegate some of my data to you as well. Okay, so give you a hand and to get your stake pool going. Okay, let me share my screen and share some of the news with you. I mean, this year, I said last week, it's incredible to see how quickly things move in blockchain. Okay, and especially just a little bit of sentiment change can have a huge difference. Close some of these things. So even just looking at where we were a few days ago, which we were kind of like right down here. This is what I'm into the kind of daily chart. So this is where we were last week. Okay, this time, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we were then around 37,000 when we talked last week, and now we kind of like everybody can draw a sigh of relief. And now their crypto holdings have gone up by, on average, about 15-20% this week. So everybody feels happier, but nothing really has changed. And that's the thing. Nothing really has changed. So the same way that you shouldn't have been kind of like in the doom and gloom a couple of weeks ago, when we were kind of like at the recent lows. There's nothing to get too excited, right now, today, because this movement has really not played out yet. So it is now. There are kind of like few signs that are starting to appear that the tide may be turning a bit, but we still got many bearish signals out there that could end up playing out. Okay, and I want to go into what's happening actually to as well on the background. We're not just looking at the price, but the things that we've seen in the news. And one of the maybe main bits of news to consider is the one that caused this. Okay, if you look at this chart, this is a chart of the Facebook price. Okay, this is Facebook stock, Meta Platforms Incorporated, that's traded on the Nasdaq. Okay, so this is where the announcement of their results took place, and this is, you can see how the market reacted to it, not very kindly at all. But this is why, because for the first time, Facebook lost daily users. So the number of users that are using Facebook is actually started to go down for the first time in history. And obviously what that means for them is not just the number of users, but it's the kind of like advertising revenue that they can generate, because the less users they have, the less money they have coming in. So although they still have a large positive results, it's kind of the market tries to price in what they see the profitability will be in the long term. Okay, so they had a certain kind of a plan in the markets, in this person's mind, that Facebook will follow a certain path, and now that is changing. They're thinking, if the users are starting to come down, what will it mean for Facebook as a business going forward? Okay, and this is, by the way, if we hear about all this now, what do you think that prompted Facebook to rebrand from Facebook to Meta, and to go kind of like all in on the metaverse? Because they always, obviously, they got access to these numbers a lot earlier than you do, so they can see the writing on the wall, and they can see that the future of social media is not as bright as it looked a year ago, and they need to do something about it. Otherwise, they're going to lose their power, their position of power in the market. So they are trying to, they haven't been very successful so far with their move into the metaverse. There's been such a backlash against Facebook from kind of like early, crypto users, and for kind of like early metaverse users that really don't want Facebook anywhere near it. But at the same time, we must say that with their interest, it has brought a lot of attention to this. Has made it become more real, because not many people yet are involved in crypto, but obviously a lot more people have a Facebook account, and so they would have heard about this through Facebook, even if they have no interest in crypto themselves. So that's the kind of like one thing. There was a kind of like at the end, I say in February the 2nd. So this happened last week, and there are another bit of interesting news as well that I wanted to bring to your attention, is the digital yuan transaction. So China already has a central bank digital currency, and just to show you kind of the progress, even at this level, controlled digital currency. That at the Winter Olympics there in China at the moment, the digital yuan transactions actually are more than Visa. Okay, so this is something to note in saying that the success even that central bank digital currencies can have, but also it's a big worry, because this is an alternative reality. Okay, this is what we've been trying to create with crypto is one thing. What China is doing is a completely other thing. And at the end of the day, you got to think that blockchain is a technology, and as any technology, it's a tool that can be used for good purposes or for bad ones. Okay, now we see the bad ones with China in a way, because through the blockchain technology, they have access to every single transaction that goes on in the digital one. And this is a real case, a case in practice of Big Brother. Okay, so this is why when we talk about cryptos, really, and we go deep, not just because we want to buy the next the next NFTs, or we want to play our next game and earn some cryptos on the side. This is what is really important. And that's why when we talk about blockchain, there is so much discussion about decentralizations, and then real details, and how this blockchain or that blockchain managed to solve a particular problem. Because we think about blockchain as a tool, it's still a solution to a problem out there. So what is the problem that we are trying to solve? The problem we're trying to solve is that, apart from the kind of like money aspects of it, or trying to wrestle the control of money, but in general, governments and institutions, their main purpose is to gain more influence. Okay, so if you think about what the government, your own government in your country, as a whole machine, with all the departments, all the civil servants that work for it, and look at what it was like 30, 40, 50 years ago, the size of it compared to the size of the population, and have a look at the size of it now compared to the size of the population, and then tell me if it has grown or if it's got smaller. Okay, so this is something that, you know, with the years going on and with then this becoming more obvious with, you know, all the money printing that we had since 2008 and even before, that people are aware they want to wrestle some of the power and bring it back to a local level. This is what blockchain is doing, really. You know, without taking, let's take all the complexity out of it, but it is a grassroots movement and saying we can do things ourselves. We don't need somebody to tell us what to do with money. We don't need somebody what to tell us with, you know, how to organize our community. We can do it ourselves. Thank you very much. And we go here. We got the tools to show you how we can do that effectively. You know, I know we talked about it, you know, both myself and with Jonathan, you know, about Cardano. Now Cardano actually, you know, leverages the community aspect. Okay, and this is happening more and more, and both at you know, layer one level, like Cardano, and even at DAO level, like projects that are coming together because of a particular purpose, and they use then you know, the blockchain to operate more successfully and in a more decentralized way. Okay, guys, is this somebody that is not muted? Can you please make sure that you mute your microphone? I'm getting some background noise. So this is one of the things to notice. But other things that are really interesting, for example, to show how companies are starting to invest in education as well in blockchain. This is very significant. Now, you know, everybody knows Forbes is a very well-respected business publication, and Binance is actually investing $200 million and gaining 2 spots on the board of Forbes that is going to go public through this particular instrument, to then educate people more effectively about the blockchain technology. Okay, why are they doing that? Not doing it for the, you know, for the goodness of their heart, but it's simply because Binance are the market leader in crypto and crypto exchanges. So if people come into crypto, they are not already into crypto at the moment, then obviously they're going to capture a big percentage of that. So in a way, is, you know, same way they kind of like it's a market strategy as well. So they're not doing it for specifically a selfish reason, in the sense that they're not just educating people in Binance, but they are making it available to everybody through Forbes, so that to create a wider community, because they're already the dominant player in that community. Okay, other things to notice, and this is something that I think we've got to be very careful of, because it might have an influence on how the market price is going to go in the next few months. Is, you might have heard about the Bitfinex hack arrests, and 3.6 billion in Bitcoin have been recovered, and probably that sum could grow to be about 4.5 billion. Okay, now what does that mean? Is that now we don't know yet what the Department of Justice, they have collected all this now Bitcoin and they got their hands on it. What they're going to do with it? How are they going to release it into the market? Because that's a big chunk of Bitcoin. It represents more than 1% of the supply of Bitcoin. Okay, so the question of how it will hit the market is very relevant, because as you know, and we talked about that every week, that the number of Bitcoin in circulation being taken off the exchanges and being stored in cold wallet is growing all the time. So the number of spot Bitcoin on exchanges is at historic lows. So 1% could be huge in terms of number of Bitcoins available. So will it be released with kind of like a drip, will it be drip fed into the market? And that would be, you know, if the US government had the interest or crypto at heart, this is what they would do. Or will they release it in one go? Would they do an auction? So these are all questions that are unanswered, but the moment that we have an answer to those questions, it has the potential to significantly move price. And then, if we want to go into conspiracy theories, now that means that the US government has the means to accentuate something that happens naturally in the market. So we might have, for example, the next bear leg, the price that naturally goes towards the 30,000 in Bitcoin. So if at that time there was an extra drop of Bitcoin in the market, that could really create a cascading effect. Okay, so I'm not saying that is going to happen, but there are lots of questions to be answered in knowing how these Bitcoins are going to be released. Okay, and it's good to be informed about these things, because otherwise it just hits us. Because if this was released only in one go, you'll see, you wake up one morning thinking, what happened to crypto? This is the kind of effect it would have on the market. Okay, and on a slightly different note, there's a few more light-hearted comments that I wanted to show you. This is regarding the Czech Republic. Okay, and the Czech Republic has been at the center of the cryptocurrency industry. For a small country of just over 10 million people, it's quite unusual. But so there's this kind of like an interesting interview. You can go and read on Cointelegraph if you want. It's called "One Currency Change Every Generation." And it's telling you how in this area of Europe, they have had about 7 currency changes in the last 1.5 centuries. So people kind of like are used to these constant changes of the currency that they're using for their exchanges. And also they've been, there are some people that still remembered what happened in 1953, because during the Stalinism, basically the leaders of the Communist Party in Czechoslovakia, they valued all personal saving denominated in the local coin, there was the koruna, by a ratio of 50-1. So imagine if you have £1,000, $1,000 saved in the bank, and the day after you have $20. This is pretty much what it looked like. And unfortunately, this is something that you think that your funds are safe, but they are safe until something like this happens. When you don't have control of your own value, these extreme events have a small possibility, a small percentage point of becoming real. Okay, so this is why in the Czech Republic in general, there's been so much interest in cryptocurrency. It is where one of the first mining pools was created, and that's why people have moved quickly to the world of crypto, because they understand what it means, why crypto is there in the first place, what it allows them to do that they couldn't do with normal currency. Okay, and we got to remember that, because it's not just a game. It's not just a way of becoming rich, but it is a way of ensuring our freedoms. Okay, and that should never be forgotten. Should never be forgotten how much you have, taken by numbers and by what is going on in the markets. This is the reason why this tool came into existence. And always remember the Bitcoin generation block, the origin block in Bitcoin. Let me see if I can bring it up. You must have seen this before.
Tell me we're still waiting.
I can't think about the right term. Sorry, John, would you mind muting the microphone? I can't remember the exact term, but the Bitcoin first block. I got a Genesis block. Let's see, I couldn't think of it. So let me see if I can bring out the picture. No, I'm not being, when you do things on live, it doesn't always work. This is why the idea behind Bitcoin Genesis block. And you can go and Google yourself and find out. But I just wanted to try the image. Okay, I can't find it right now. But anyway, there was a picture of the Times in the UK when Gordon Brown decided to sell the gold reserves. Basically, I can describe it to you. Okay, if you find it, I mean, I'm not going to do that right now because I'm getting frustrated. But I do have in some of my presentation, but don't worry, I'm going to find this soon. Probably when we finish this. So one thing I was saying about Bitcoin. So the image on the Genesis block, on the first block that was ever created of Bitcoin, there's an image of the first page of the Times saying how badly basically Gordon Brown did with the gold reserves, and the idea behind it is, without having to say anything, is we can do a better job with this. Let's all get together. Let's all work together. And this ideal, because at the time it was just an ideal. Nobody knew that it was going to work. It was going to become a $1 trillion asset, okay, from nothing. So another couple of things I wanted to show you. The interesting, more talk about El Salvador, and some worry because it's been downgraded by Fitch, which is one of the rating agencies, in terms of how safe the debt, kind of El Salvador's debts are to hold, for an investor, somebody that holds their paper. But this is talking about something different, about they using volcano energy from geothermal energy from the volcano to power Bitcoin City mega project. So this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to create a city called a Bitcoin City near an active volcano that is being constructed in a cone shape at the base of the Conchagua volcano, whose energy will also be used to power the city, but also to mine Bitcoin. So everybody is not really on board with his vision, but they're going ahead nonetheless. Not just with what they're doing themselves, but they got some crypto industry players like this Blockstream, which is the Canada blockchain technology enterprise, is issuing the bonds, and the bonds will be as tokenized securities, and they will be hosted on Bitfinex. So people that want to buy these bonds can buy them on Bitfinex. And these bonds are paying for 10 years, and they pay 6.5% annual interest to their holders. So there are lots of, you can read the article yourself. There are lots of unknowns and lots of doubts if they're going to be able to pull it off or not. But it is interesting. If they can pull it off, with the also incentives of no tax on cryptocurrency in El Salvador, and with the fact that if you where was that, you can have citizenship as well with as much as I think it was one Bitcoin investment, is attracting a lot of interest for people in the crypto industry. Okay, because the people that have accumulated large capitals in crypto, and they're worried because the moment that they start cashing out, then they're going to have huge tax implications. Okay. So this is what happens in Bitcoin, which are seen. They keep buying Bitcoin, so everything seems to be doing well, and they start to finance some of the profits they have made in Bitcoin. They finance some the building of some infrastructure in El Salvador, which is very needed. And we've seen a lot more people, almost double the number of people now holding a Bitcoin wallet than they have a bank account in El Salvador. So it is helping a lot of people to get access to the financial system through the Bitcoin wallet. Another bit that is interesting, and there are more and more of US states that are moving towards cryptocurrency as well. There's a bill going through in Tennessee that wants the state to invest in Bitcoin and NFTs. Now, I don't know exactly what kind of NFTs they will be investing in, because NFT is a very wide term that can, that can go from, from buying, I doubt going to buy Bored Apes through Tennessee, but there are some securities in the form of NFTs that can be purchased as well. So we'll see what kind of thing, if first of all, if the bill passes or not, and then in practical terms what it means. We're already seeing Miami raising a lot of funds, launching the Miami coin, and we heard from Texas Senator Ted Cruz that he came out publicly and said he bought Bitcoin during the dip, about $50,000 worth apparently. So it's something that's becoming more accepted, more widely accepted for everybody to use Bitcoin. So there's a lot more that we could talk about, but I don't want to take the whole time. As usual, I think I've spoken about half of the time, and the rest of the time we'll be using to answer some questions. There's only one thing that I wanted to show you, that just to show you the effect. This is a very tiny coin that I was looking at because of a certain community that I'm part of, and I just wanted to show you as an example of what can happen in an initial coin offering, okay, an ICO, and why I generally stay away from them, okay? Let me see if I can show you this chart. Can you see this interesting price chart? Can you see, can you understand what it means? This is a daily chart, by the way. So this happened in one day, okay? So I'll tell you what it means. This is the price that this particular coin opened at, which was difficult to get the exact price, but it was about 75 cents. Okay. Then it all went up and up and up and up and up until it got to a maximum of $13.3. Okay, so you say, wow, gained a lot if you bought the coin in pre-ICO level, maybe at 60 cents or something like that before it was available to the public. Well, at the end of the day, same coin was worth 0.009 cents. Okay, so $0.009. So like a fraction of a cent, not even a whole cent. Now, does it mean that it is a bad project? Not necessarily. If we go into the shorter time frame, then we can see that after. Let me go. Sorry, maybe I need to go to the 1 hour. So you can see if we go into the shorter time frame. So after that initial drop, then it started operating like any normal crypto project does, going wildly up, coming wildly down, and anything in between. Okay, so it's something that I've bought a few coins of, from my kind of like gambling account in a way, because with this kind of project there was no way of doing too much due diligence apart from a couple of the people that were involved. But it is, I just wanted to show you kind of like if you had bought the kind of like opportunity before this coin came onto the market, you would have pretty much lost 99.something%, because at the moment I am showing a healthy profit with the coin being at 1/10 of a cent, because I have bought some after the initial the initial craziness. But if you had bought some at $1, $2, $3, then can you imagine how long it will take for the price to go back to that level from 1 cent of a dollar? Now, I'd be very happy if the price goes back to 1 cent. Be very happy with that. But from that to go up to $5, $6, $10 is something else entirely. Okay, so I just wanted to warn you, because they at the moment there's over 30 coins coming on the market every single day. So if you haven't already, there will be a friend of yours that will tell you, buy this coin. It's a great project. It's fantastic. I'm just telling you, I'm not saying not to do it at all. Just say be very, very careful if you do it, because this is what can happen, and this is what happens time and time and time again. In the majority of the projects, you can buy at a cheaper price than the pre-sale price after the coin comes on the market. So why would you take the extra risk? That's my question. Okay. So, and there are some cases where we know that there's so much demand that it is a good idea to do that. Many other cases where it is not a good idea. So I would say watch it. And with that, we can close the screen share and we can start the questions. So we got any questions already in the chat box? Let's have a look. Oh, thank you, Archie, for posting the Bitcoin image. So for everybody that goes into the chat box, there we are. Okay, so we're talking about the brink chancellor on the brink of the second bailout for banks. Okay, so this is in the in the Bitcoin origin block. All right. So you make what you will out of it, but that's the message. That's the message that that the creator of Bitcoin wants it to get everybody to know. Okay. So come on, let's get some questions. Don't be shy. You can, Karen. Sorry, you have a question?
Oh, I can have many questions if you want.
Let's get the first one.
So I was just wondering then, so Bitcoin's decentralized and it can't be controlled. So how would China able to control transactions if the blockchain is secure?
Sorry, say again.
Sorry, you mentioned earlier on China using it in a nefarious way, using blockchain to know people's data and to control them, like Big Brother.
Yeah.
So how are they able to do that if blockchain is all independent and decentralized?
Blockchain is really just an accounting book in a way. Okay, if you think about it, so it can be public, so everybody can have access to it and everybody can see what's going on, or it can be private. You know, and from the point of view of, you know, who's in control of anything, you know, if one entity has got the ability to alter anything, then it's not decentralized, and it's not it can be used for the purpose of the person or the entity that controls that that particular chain. Okay, so Bitcoin, for example, you know, the transactions are all traceable, but there is anonymity, so you can see the wallets that the transactions got from and to, but you don't know exactly who owns those wallets. Now, if a particular blockchain requires for you to use it to you know, to identify you, then they will know exactly every single transaction that goes on in that blockchain. So this is the other way that this technology can be used. Can be used to ensure freedom, or exactly for the opposite purpose.
Can that ever happen with the rest of the world then?
Well, no, because the point is the, you know, decentralized blockchains like Bitcoin are there because of that reason, because then we're spreading, everybody is looking at the same accounting book. I can check things. So I can check if you know, if you need to pay me and you said that you send me something, I can check if you have that money in your account or not. And so I can ensure myself for the transaction that I can see that you have, I can see that you sent it, I can see I received, and then I can do my part of the, you know, of the bargain.
Okay.
But in you know, in what China is doing can be replicated by any other country, really. You know, and this is where you need to look into the details. When they say central bank digital currency, obviously it means centralized. It means somebody has got that power. So the idea is, you know, do you want to have a protocol like that, you know how many coins are in circulation, and if there is to make any change, you do it together as a community, and the majority must agree on any changes that are implemented? Or do you want somebody to have control and saying, well, let's say, you know, this year, you know, there are 20 million Bitcoin, but next year, well, we need a few more, so let's say 30 million Bitcoin next year rather than 21. You know, then that would change completely, you know, the valuation of that particular coin. And this is what, you know, and this is what many projects were born to avoid that. You know, the fact that a central currency, a currency controlled by a central bank, is in physical format or digital format doesn't really change much. It's still the same currency with the same control. It's just the way you use it is slightly different, but it's you know, it doesn't change what it really is. You know.
Okay, and can I check as well? So at the moment, obviously, Bitcoin has regrouped a bit. So if they do flood the market, is it possible to set like, because I know it's so volatile, you don't really want to be setting stop losses, but could you do it? So you like set a stop loss to buy if it dips to a certain level, but then you buy back in at a lower level.
Yeah, you're talking about limit orders. Yes, you can. You can on. This is different sometimes between, you know, DEXs, decentralized exchanges, centralized exchanges. So it's very easy to do on a centralized exchange. It is starting to appear that capacity as well as certain decentralized exchanges too. But yeah, you can say, you know, you can put an order, say, I want to buy $10,000 worth of Bitcoin at 29,000. So that order can sit there on an order book style system like Binance, for example, and it will sit there until the price reaches 29,000 or until you cancel it. Okay. The only thing you got to realize though is that when you put a limit order on a centralized exchange, your funds are committed.
Yeah.
So if those $10,000, you won't be able to use them for anything else.
Okay.
Okay. They are committed to the order.
So yeah. So at the moment, Bitcoin, I think it was £33,000 yesterday, wasn't it?
Sorry, I do in dollars.
Dollars, yeah.
Not pounds.
So whatever it was in dollars. So where would you set your parameters? So just to make sure that you sell at the highest price possible, but then you buy in.
That's a different thing. That's a different thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Because obviously, if you're buying, you don't have those coins yet, so you can't sell them before you buy them.
No, but if you've already got Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you just want to ensure that if the market does do a big dip, that you sell at as it's coming down, so you're not going to be left holding Bitcoin at a X
That would be a
amount.
stop loss. That would be a stop loss, Karen.
Right.
So, but the problem with that, you know, that's why, you know, not many people use stop losses in cryptos, is that it's visible. So your order will be visible to everybody. And unfortunately, what you see happening often, and this is something that not just on Bitcoin, but sometimes, you know, certain crypto brokers have been known to do this. You see this unusual price movements, kind of like, for example, like a let's say Bitcoin that for a fraction of a second, the price is $10,000, and it's only available for a fraction of a second. Nobody would ever be able to buy at that level. But from the point of view of the Oracle, that gets picked up, and if anybody was in a leveraged position at all, would be liquidated. Okay, so you want to be careful, because normally when you put a stop loss, that will get triggered just by volatility. So you will ensure that you get the worst price basically for your coins. Okay, and then yes, if they keep going down and you buy lower, you can still make a profit, but it's really not a good strategy.
Right. Okay.
To have it that way. But you could do something different. Let's say that you have, let's say, one Bitcoin, okay, And you might say, if it goes up to this price, I'm going to take profits. And if it goes down to that price, I'm going to buy more. So if you have both Bitcoin and dollars in your account, you can put one sell order in place, automated, and one buy order in place, automated. So, you know, if the price goes down to a certain level, you buy some more. The price reaches a certain level, then you take profits. That you can do, but then you need to have both, you know, cryptos and stable coins, you know, to do that kind of thing in your account.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay,
Awesome,
and also
thank you.
be aware of the volatility.
Yeah.
Always be
Okay
aware of
then.
the volatility. That can work for you, can work against you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Now, Eric was saying, how are the Sunday swap doing? You know, Jonathan, do you want to answer that? You know, our resident Cardano expert.
So I think they've released a calculator on their app, so you can actually see what your likely rewards are. So anybody that's been delegating to a Sunday swap scooper pool for the past 25 days will imminently receive their rewards. So your rewards will be relative to how much you've got staked with them as well. So nobody knows exactly who's going to get what and how much it is, but yeah, I'm not sure when it ends. Is it end of?
It's the 25th, I think. Yeah, the 25th of February, I think it's when it ends in terms of the staking, and then I think they start the rewards, you know, on the 1st of March. Yeah, that's when that was when they, you know, when they said, but they anyway, let's not go into kind of too technical details of how they're going to send the rewards to people. You don't have to claim them. But just follow the Discord, and we'll tell you all the steps you need to take to claim your rewards. Okay. All right. Any other questions, guys?
Yeah. What was the?
Sorry. Go ahead, Karen.
So we have.
Luca, would you be able to do a quick Discord, like a session, how to use it? Because I get confused each time I go there. There's so much going on in there. I haven't got a clue.
Sorry, to use what?
Discord.
How to use Discord? Wow.
Yeah, when I went there, there is so much going on in there. I don't know where to go, what links to check in, and I don't want to click a wrong link.
Yeah,
I was trying to follow Jonathan. It was a nightmare to get hold of him there. I was trying to look for him.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it is a bit of a minefield. If you just come into the Fluid 7 server, it's much quieter in there, and hopefully we can onboard you. We've been doing it.
Where's that? Sorry.
The Fluid 7 server. Have you joined? I don't know what your handle is in Discord, but if you go to our,
I don't know myself.
So I've dropped the link into the chat again. So if you want to join us at 9:30 after these sessions, we do a session.
I'm not the best person to talk to you about Discord, Abby, because I'm fairly new to the platform myself. I've only been using it for a few months, so I'm still finding things out as I go along. So I am kind of like I learn by doing myself. So I keep playing with stuff until I had a break here, I understand how it works.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you.
Okay, Stan, you have your hand up?
Just got an email today, and it's no news, but they've sort of said that there's 23% of all Bitcoin have been stolen or lost. Now you're telling me that the Department of Justice has got, you know, another 4 billion just about.
4 billion worth, 4 billion US dollars, yeah.
You know, US dollars. So this gets down to a supply issue. And I'm just trying to sort of picture this through. If it was a government department that got $3.6 billion worth of drugs, they'd probably destroy them.
Mm-hmm.
Or, knowing the US, probably sell them.
Exactly.
Irrespective of all of that,
or smoking.
Their cost base is zero.
Yeah.
Why would you sell why would you sell? I'm trying to get into the mindset of a government and a whale, effectively, because this is going to become a problem for the whales, where a bigger player than the whales at the moment can dictate the price of Bitcoin more than they can. And us little pigs are just going for the ride. Now,
you got it in one.
I'm trying to get this out of my head. El Salvador is a country that's going out to go and acquire Bitcoin, and it's got its agenda. The US could play a major part in this, or they could really blow it all up.
I mean, yeah, the question there is to see what the long-term goal is for the regulators. And that's the big question, because obviously, you know, as you know, in the US, to get elected into any position, and not just in you know, in parliament, but even to become a judge, you do need a lot of funds. Okay, and so there's lots of communities that hold a big sway on people in power. So the idea is who's going to determine where we are going, what direction we are going. Is it the financial industry? Is it the arm lobby? So you see what I mean? So if the goal is to get the financial industry to maintain their power, then there is a vested interest to damage crypto in some way. But at the same time, you know, crypto has become a big industry as well in the US too. And they know that they can't control it outside of the US. So they don't want to kind of destroy an industry that could dominate in, you know, the next 10 or 20 years and put the US in a kind of like at a competitive disadvantage. So it's a very difficult question to answer, because we don't know, you know, what's in their mind and how they're going to use these things, and legally we don't know exactly who these bitcoins, you know, who these bitcoins belong to. So it might be just a, you know, just a chat that we have in here, but they're saying, well, tomorrow, so we return all the bitcoins to Bitfinex, and they will return them to the original users. Who knows? But if they did that, you get people that had lots of bitcoins in 2016. They're worth a whole lot more today than they were in 2016. And do you think they will sell some and go and live, you know, without having to work for the rest of their life? I don't think quite a few people would do that. So again, it's new bitcoins coming onto the market. The reason of the, you know, what you were saying before is very true about the supply, because supply of Bitcoin, the spot Bitcoins, is a problem, because many of the coins that were minted at the beginning have got lost, in the sense that people don't have access to where the coins were stored, because people were mining them on their own computer, and then they changed computer, they lost the hard drive, and so on. So they're not recoverable. So although there are, you know, there's only 21 million Bitcoin being created, practically speaking, there's a lot less than that will ever come into circulation. You know, and having kind of this Bitfinex hack, it represents about 1% of the coins. You know, so it's a significant amount. So I don't know. The answer is I don't know what's going to happen. But I just wanted to bring it to your attention, because this is, you know, this is what is going on, and these things can have an effect on price and everybody that's involved. Duncan saying, is anyone else having issues with Binance lately? And no idea into that. I know it depends on. It depends on what kind of verification you have done for your accounts to begin with. Because I think if you had done KYC, you should have a problem. Yes, Chaya?
Yeah, I had a similar problem. They are asking to verify your accounts, even it's completed in the first place. Now they just wanted to re-verify. If not, then you can't withdraw the account, like a coins kind of thing. Mm-hmm. They send to verify. And I think it's a certain date within that limit you have to verify. I tried a couple of times, it didn't work. And they asked me to do it on mobile phone, to download the app and then the QR code you can download and then verify. And once I've done in the mobile, it's working fine now. So maybe Duncan also need to do in the mobile as well, because I did a desktop, and from desktop I did on a mobile. In the both, I was working on the both sides, and it's fine now with Duncan.
Yeah, unfortunately, you know what's
I think, yeah, once you have done that, then they will like to give you some like a NFT coin or something, if it's like verify within time limit. So that's the reason they are doing so.
Okay, I mean, what you know, more generally, what's happening with Binance, because they've had so many issues with the countries around the world that are trying to block them. They put now a lot of effort into compliance. Okay, so they have employed lots of people that look after that aspect of it, and that's one of the decisions that they made, is to basically KYC most of their users. So that they would be more palatable to institutions and countries, okay? Because other exchanges in many of the countries don't have the problems that Binance has had, but at the same time, they're about 5 times as big as anybody else. So there is a real incentive for people to be able to access Binance, and they want to make sure that they follow in the rules, so they're not blocked in any country around the world. Okay, I haven't had any problem with my Binance account, but then I did the higher verification to begin with. So okay. Okay, guys, any other questions? Don't see anything in the chat.
Yes, Luca, can you just explain a bit more about what actually happened with Bitfinex and the hacking? Just flesh it out a bit.
Yeah, I mean, there was a big. I mean, I'm not too au fait with the actual hack that happened in 2016, but there were lots of hacks at the time in different exchanges. I mean, Binance got hacked as well. Most of the central exchanges got hacked. That was very, very large, and happened in 2016. Now, if you ask me how they did it, got no idea. No idea, but finally there is a growing industry of blockchain investigations and forensic investigation becoming, as Bitcoin is growing, there are more experts that are able to trace back a lot of these things. And what happens is that people can hack, they can get access to a large amount of coins, but at some stage they will want to do something with them. And obviously, being the exchange, being the blockchain public, whenever those wallets are being mobilized, then and people are trying to cash out it some way, this is when they get they actually get found out. Okay, so it's not as simple as stealing something. They're just stealing cash, because cash, it's one note is the same as another, and you can really go and trace them down. But with cryptos, you can. So you can steal it, but will you be able to use it? That's another question. Okay, I don't know exactly what went on with the team with Bitfinex exactly in 2016, but I do know that there was being reported a large amount of funds were stolen. And I know there was, if you go and read the articles, Google it, and you can read it for yourself. It was very sophisticated the way they were trying to recycle it, but it's very difficult to recycle such a large amount of coins.
So this hack was not a recent thing; it's a 2016 thing.
Yeah, 2016. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Not that should make you feel any better with the way that things are going on now, because there's lots more going on, especially in the Ethereum world and DeFi. There's hacks happening almost on a daily basis. So it's not a problem that has been fully solved yet. We're still a way away from that. And obviously, being quite partial to Cardano. But Cardano offers superior security from that point of view because we're going down to the kind of building blocks, okay, and the time and effort and money they've spent to make sure that at the base blocks, the programming language allows them to do things in a more secure way. Because once you made a decision, you've chosen something that has inherent vulnerabilities, then it's very difficult to patch it up later. So this is where as we're going forward, and blockchains will start doing those things, then the chains that are being properly set up will emerge, because they will be able to do things the other chain won't be able to do. Simple as that. Simple as that. So this is why I like when I make my investment decisions. I don't, price is just that you look at price at the last minute just to time your entry or exit, but it's not. This price doesn't influence my investment decision. Okay, you decide to invest in something because you have looked at the projects and you believe in the project. You're not because price is doing certain things. Okay, that is just to time when it's the best time to then buy into that project if you want to have it in your portfolio, but nothing else. Or when it's time to take some profits, but not to get in or not on projects. Okay. Anybody else? Any questions? No, it's a bit difficult today because most people are actually, I can't see, they're blacked out. So I don't know what you guys are doing. Probably the guys from Australia are having dinner right now. But if do you have any other questions, guys? Otherwise, we're coming to the end of the hour. We can adjourn until next week. But I'm happy to stay on for a few more minutes if you have burning questions. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Duncan, as usual. Thank you for your support, for being here every week. That's great. And I know that you have a kind of a busy day ahead of you. So good luck for that, and for everything you do for the GeniusU community. Thanks, Duncan. Okay, so any other question, guys, or shall we close it here? No, you're all satisfied. Fantastic. Yeah, then I'll see you again in 1 week. Keep an eye on the developments in the market, because at the moment is looking very frisky. Okay, there's lots going on, and it could just as well go up a lot, but it could go down a lot too. So have our nimble feet, and depending and just trust your investment plan. Okay, so see you all next week, and thank you very much for joining me this morning. Okay,
Thank you, Luca.
Goodbye, everyone. Bye.
Bye.